Who forgot the SD card? I think it was cameraman Cab.
Oh no, whoops. I don't really want to take responsibility for that one. What a great start to a morning. What do you reckon, Brent and Scott?
I reckon for that you can be cameraman Cam for the day. You don't get to fish because you ginned up, and we'll have to film a whole episode on an iPhone.
Hasn't this changed a little bit? Scott's Island just over there. No longer Scott's Island.
Mate, all this water would have been at least half a metre higher only a couple of weeks ago, and now we've got all this exposed stuff. It just shows like how complex all these little snag systems were and why it was holding Bream so far up.
Definitely. It's amazing how quickly it changes though, isn't it?
Hey, check out down that river there, Scott, as well. Like, look at all the haze lifting up off the water. It's going to be a magic morning, I think, guys. I think the Bream should be on a lot of water movement, which is going to probably be pretty good for it.
Excited.
Apart from getting wet.
Yeah, well, I got those shoes, so I think I'm going to get pretty cold. Oh, let's get to it, eh?
Get to it. So guys, you want to know the best thing about doing this type of Bream fishing is it's so simple. Rather than taking a full swag full of stuff, all you require is a tackle box this big, a pair of scissors, and some 8-pound leader. And what I'm going to do quickly is I'm just going to show you the quick rig we tie to catch these Bream, and we're going to get it down the water and we're going to show you how to fish it. So literally all we want here is a little tiny size 6 red bait holder hook or bronze, it doesn't matter. I got fat fingers so it's hard to grab stuff. A tiny little ball sinker. Now be careful, because if you drop that in the sand you're not finding it again. And this is going to be the hardest thing for my fingers to grab. I'll see if I can get this. It's smaller than an ant. The smallest little barrel swivel or box swivel or crane swivel you can possibly find. And the reason we're using so small is because you do need small swivels with the Alveys. So 8-pound leader. For this I'm using Sunline 8-pound Bream special, because that's what I had hanging around. It's not because it actually is a Bream special. Get that out of there. Now you only need a short length, okay? For the sake of this, about 40 centimeters. Okay, now we're going to start tying knots. Now you can tie any knots you like. You can tie blood knots, half unis. You can tie a granny knot if you really want, as long as your granny lets you. And just get that hook on, okay? My eyes are not the best this time of the morning, hence me wearing spectacles. Making a dog's breakfast out of this, and not even my dogs at 8. So we pull that tight, trim off your tags, and this is where my eyes really have to start working. Throw on the little ball sinker. Now he's going to run all day long. He's going to run faster than Usain Bolt if we get a big Bream. We're just going to tie that little swivel on the end there as well. As I said, I'm just using half uni knots here. Pull that tight. Plenty of lube, because you remember, you never want to go in dry. And there you have a basic little Bream rig. And that's all you need to catch these fish, guys. It's as simple as that. We're going to tie it onto the main line, which you already all know how to do. And we'll go get into some bream, I reckon, because the water is looking A-okay. Catch you down. Looking pretty good.
It is.
I reckon this is finally it, chosen spot.
Yeah, let's go.
Get some baits in the water and catch some fish. There we have it, guys. First little bream of the day, just a baby one. But we'll put him back in the water. Oh, look at this little hook out. And we'll let him go.
What's wrong, Brennan?
Fish ran me straight in the snags and isn't coming out like a good boy.
Tragic.
Oh, we're busting this one off by the look.
Ooh, he's a feisty one. There we go. Ooh. Beautiful. Breamy, coming out. You're bloody spiky. How cool's that? Get off. Beautiful little bream. Chuck him back in the water. Beep, beep. Yep.
Ranta. He ran straight into the shore. He dropped it again. Just call me Butterfingers Brendan today. I can't even bloody keep a fish on. Ooh, spiky one you are. Little tiny keyring bream about to get released. Here's another one. They are very small fish, there's no doubt. But it's not always about catching the largest fish in the pond. It's about just coming out, beautiful conditions, and very healthy fish in such untouched water. But we'll get this one back again and let him grow right up for next time.
Pretty fun just watching your rod tip just boing around with the fish. honestly just a cracker of a little fish to catch. It's only a little fella, but they're like some of the monsters we've caught in this system in the past. But still a nice little sized bream. We'll get them back in and get on to the next one.
A saying you might start hearing a fair bit on point is smackled. And what's smackling? Well, that's when the fish smacks and tackles your bait at the same time like a ferocious beast that it is and hooks up. That's smackling. We're fishing unweighted baits here, and if you watch the line you can see it slowly start moving across the water. So I had a fish playing with it. He's back on it again now. You can see the line twitching and hopefully we're going to come up tight on him. Missed him. But that's okay. I mean, the good thing is we've found a nice little pocket here where there's not much water movement, so we can go unweighted. And as you can see, this is typical of a bream. You could see that he was biting the line, but my bait is still in perfect condition. And that's because what the bream are doing, when you're feeling them biting, they're not consuming. They're sucking it in and spitting it out, sucking and spitting out. And that's why you want to wait for that bream to take that initial good hit of line before you strike into him. And if you do that, you're going to have a bit better success than what I did just then. So we'll get this back out there on these little Alvey combos. You know, it's really easy to fish these unweighted baits because they cast brilliantly, just like that. And we just wait for the next bite. It is that simple. So we've just had another fish playing with the unweighted bait here. You can see the line starting to take up a bit of tension. And there he is there. And you saw that I didn't have to strike too hard on him. And that's pretty much because I waited for him to really take that bait well before I let the hooks sink in. And keep in mind, guys, when you're striking at these sort of little fish, you don't need to drive the hook that hard that you rip their head off and only come back with gills. You want the whole body of the bream, because have a look at that. He's such a spectacular little fish. Let's get him back in the water and let him swim back to his home. And hopefully he lets Dad know that we're here so he can bite the hook and come and say g'day. Let's get to it. You see that line moving across the water again? And I'm really putting an emphasis on this. I should be able to just come up lightly, and there he is. And the reason I'm putting an emphasis on it is it's the importance of actually watching your line and learning what your gear's doing. Let your gear work for you rather than working for the gear kind of thing. If you can sort of start understanding, you know, what certain movements in your line look like and do, your success rate on capture is so much better. But look, we'll get this little fella back in the water as well. He's only keyring bream, which is what we seem to be finding this morning, but I've got a little spot up my sleeve. We might try on the way back, and we'll put him back.
And there we go. I think we've got another one on the line.
You've got one shot.
This one feels like it's got a little bit more carry in it. Finally, Brennan's caught a lot more than me this morning. Hey Brennan, how are you?
That's a better one.
Yeah, as the day goes on, they are getting a little bit better, but it's still a very nice looking bream, and we'll get her back in the water, catch the big daddy that we're after.
Scott's line going a bit silly there. Got it out. There you go, guys. Another beauty.
So what are these? Coral prawns? Alright. Oh, is that you? I was like, there hasn't been flies all morning and there's something pestering me. Yeah. Probably the reason why I didn't catch that fish.
It was the biggest pest there is.
What do you reckon, Brandon?
To be honest, a bit slow here. I reckon,
Find the big ones.
yeah, I reckon maybe go back to that spot we were fishing, you know, last week, and we'll see if the big fish are still in there and see if we can get some big ones. See if we can get them to.
I agree.
Get them to smack our rigs.
These ones just want to play with the bait, not take it all the time.
That's it.
I'd rather catch the big brother, big
Hey.
father, or the grandfather.
No, I'd agree with you, mate. I'd agree. So we'll go for a bit of a walk back through the river and See if we can find the big ones.
Yeah, why not?
All right, let's go find Boris. You can carry the bait. Good, Scott?
Yeah, very good.
Nice reeds out there and stuff. Oh, in like Flynn. Oh, I'm going to put my part of the bacon stuff down and I'll cast as well. Yep. There he is. Beautiful little Alvey. And what I find funny about this river is there's crocodiles in here. If cameraman Cam just goes there, you can see there's a little freshwater croc right down there. But let's get this bream back in the water.
Hey Brendan, you need some bait?
A filthy prawn out of our filthy...
Cameraman Cam's got to be useful somehow, eh guys?
Yep.
Someone's got to do the dirty work.
Look at that. That's a bit better. Starting to get there. At least this one would be illegal. A lot more lively. Oh. Get him off the hook. So there we've found ourselves a legal bream this morning. What we've done is we've actually just walked out onto a bit of a sand flat and found a tiny little hole that would be no bigger than a car. And we've just dropped the prawn straight in. And this guy just come out and whacked it. So we'll get him back in the water so we can go smackle some more baits. We reckon, Scott, we call it?
Yeah, probably that time.
Unfortunately, the size of the fish this week weren't so big, but it didn't take away from the immense amount of fun. But if I can give one tip with an Alvey to take home, every time you finish fishing with the Alvey, make sure you wash it thoroughly. Done. That's all the maintenance that's required on these gems of reels. Well, Scott, trek back to Perth?
Yeah, definitely. Call it, eh?
I thought I already did.
Yeah.
All right, see you later, guys.
See ya.